I'm craving a homemade cheesesteak so bad. Is this cheesesteak going to be as decadent as the cheesesteaks that we would get from our local dive or sub shop? Heck no. Because there's nothing that can really replace that greasy, salty, overstuffed, huge sub that we get from the sub shop, especially the dive shops with those delicious fries, all those fries. But if you have, the ingredients in your house and you just want to make, a homemade cheesesteak just for the heck of it, I'm making one that has fresh cut steak. You get to control the salt, the amount of cheese, the oil, the grease. So, it's a bit healthier, although I laugh because to say that a cheesesteak sub is a bit healthier is kind of like, I don't know, saying that, I don't know, something that's really horrible is less horrible than something else that's horrible. So, I'm not going to say it's healthier. I take that back. But it does have less grease and salt and fat and all that stuff. And it is delicious. So if you're up for making a fresh homemade cheesesteak, then stick around. It's coming right up. Hey family, I hope everybody's doing okay. As you can see, I'm about to make a homemade cheesesteak sub sandwich with some homemade fries. It is going to be easy and delicious. There's nothing better than homemade cheesesteak, whether you use Steakums or actual steak. These days I try to save a little of the fat, a lot of fat. So for my homemade cheesesteak, I'm going to be using this flat iron steak, but you can use any type of fresh steak, or like I said, Steakums or steak strips. They actually have the steak strips at the market, at the grocery store, that's already cut for you. So yeah, I've got some nice fresh flat iron steak. Yum. And fresh russet, an onion for flavor. I've got some Kraft Deluxe cheese slices. I love them. They are so rich and smoky and delicious. I've also got some provolone cheese slices that I don't have out, that I forgot about, and I'm going to get those out of my refrigerator. I might use a little mayo. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge mayo fan. When I make sandwiches for other people, I will use mayo, but for me, I mostly use ketchup. I haven't decided yet. On cheesesteak subs, sometimes I do like a little mayo. I've got my nice soft sub roll, some juicy red ripe, beefsteak tomatoes. These beefsteak tomatoes, I'm telling you, they are so much better than regular tomatoes. They are awesome. And I've got a little lettuce. I always keep some lettuce and tomato on hand, and I keep it in an airtight container because we all know how fast lettuce is to go bad. A little salt and pepper. That's all I'm seasoning this steak with. And I'm going to put my onion down in this nice hot pan. This pan's getting hot. I'm going to saute some onion, and I am going to be right back. Jump into this homemade, delicious, easy, homemade cheese steak. I want to thank you guys for being a friend to this channel by commenting, subscribing, liking, sharing, and receiving my notifications so that you do not miss any vids as soon as I do them. And I am putting out vids every single Wednesday. If I did not work about 8 to 10 other jobs from home, I would actually be probably putting out at least 2 to 4 videos per week. But I am consistently every Wednesday putting out vids for you guys, and I hope that you enjoy them. And Hopefully you're just as much a foodie as I am and really enjoy watching as much as I enjoy cooking them for you. So with that being said, delicious homemade cheesesteak. It's going to be so good. All right, stick around. It's coming right up. All right, family, so I'm slicing this steak very thinly, like this. And I would like to say that when the steak, if you freeze it, it's a lot easier to cut, just like chicken breast. I just bought this and kind of slapped it in my fridge, but it's a lot easier to cut when it is frozen. But I'm just cutting it into thin, small slices like this. So I'm going to cut the rest of this up. See how they look? Very thin, small spaces. Pieces. And you do want a little fat. This has a little fat on it for your cheese, for your steak. So I'm going to finish cutting up the rest of this, and it's going to be time to put them in my pan with my onions that are sauteing and getting really happy. So I just did a little salt and cracked black pepper on the meat, and I got some onions that's getting happy. I'm going to turn my heat up a little. I want a lot. I'm going to turn my heat up a lot because I want a nice sear on this steak. Remember when you're in the kitchen and you're handling raw meat to always have some antibacterial soap or bleach water or whatever, disinfectant close by. I'm just going to saute this steak. Some people like to do some green pepper, red pepper, green pepper, both, yellow, banana peppers. I am kind of a purist. I just like to do steak. And there's just a little drop of vegetable oil in this pan and some non-stick spray. So you want to get a nice sear on the steak. We'll do another little dash of salt, another little dash of pepper, and I am going to saute this steak until it is done. Family, this steak is done. You can see how nicely caramelized the onions are, how nicely caramelized the meat is. It has a nice sear on it. That's what you want for your cheesesteak, for your steak sub, whether you put cheese on it or not. So I found my smoked provolone. So what I'm going to do is put one slice of the smoked provolone on there. And I'm also going to be doing that smoky cheddar. Turn my heat off. And I'm going to let that melt. The heat is off. It's just going to sit there and chug, get happy. I'm going to start getting my fries together. My fries are not going to take long at all. Alright guys, I'm getting these hand cut fries together. There is nothing better than hand cut fries, and everybody does their hand cut fries differently. I like to just keep it simple. Some people will soak this in water. Some people will blanch these potatoes, fry them twice. I'm not doing all that. I'm not. I'm just going to season these with salt and pepper. So here's that steak. I sprinkled a little cracked black pepper on it. You see that provolone is melted. I might even add another little small piece of provolone, but that is perfect. I'm going to set this meat to the side, and I'm going to toast my buns. All right, guys, so I didn't even wash my pan out. It's cool. I'm gonna spray a little non-stick, and I'm gonna put the sub roll right into this pan, press it down, and I'm going to toast this sub roll for a few minutes till it's nice and brown, lightly brown on that side, and I'm going to toast it on the other side lightly as well. This is toasted perfectly on the inside. You see the inside is nice and golden because I did not clean the pan or wipe the pan out. The juices from the steak and the onion flavor is infused into this sub roll. And now this part is nice and toasted too. The heat is off. And I'm going to start assembling my steak sub. But before I assemble my steak sub, I'm going to get my hand cut fries into my hot oil. All right, here we go. Please always be safe when you are frying. I do have a little piece of onion in here with my fries for flavor. So I always cut a little small piece of end off of the onion so that this little end piece like this off the onion, and I fry my potatoes, french fries with it. It gives it such good flavor. So I'm going to fry these until they get nice and golden brown. All right, while my fries are going, let's start assembling this delicious cheesesteak sub. So I'm going to, I've decided to actually use a little mayo, Duke's, which for me, Duke's is the best. So I only want a little. I don't like a ton of mayo, but this Duke's is magic for me. But you put whatever you want, you know, on your cheesesteak sub. I do some ketchup. I do like ketchup on mine. Use whatever you like for your steak sub. And look at this delicious steak with the melted cheese. Look at that. Look at that provolone just stretching out like that. That is so freaking good. Okay, this is so... The steak is tender. So look at that steak. I want you to get a close up. Look at that steak. Look at it. It's beautiful. I'm going to do my tomatoes. My lettuce. If you do not like lettuce and tomato, hey, leave it out. But it is so good on cheesesteak. And look how easy Look at this delicious overstuffed cheesesteak sub. My fries are about to come out. So let me get to my fries. These hand-cut fries are nice and golden. Just going to drain them on this paper towel. There's that piece of onion that I always put in for flavor. If you want to sprinkle with a little seasoned salt, you can. I'm good with, I am good with just, you know, salt and pepper. So let's get back to my cheesesteak sub real quick. Y'all, look at that beautiful overstuffed cheesesteak, homemade cheesesteak sub using fresh, delicious flat iron steak. Nice fresh steak. You cannot beat it. You don't get all that grease. And you get an overload of just pure delicious flavor with the steak. That nice ripe tomato. Look at that juicy ripe beefsteak tomato. Crispy lettuce. That provolone cheese. That cheddar cheese. Look at that. The sauteed onion, which makes any cheesesteak, that meat that is just perfectly seared. And I'm telling you, the meat is so delicious. I tasted a piece. It's perfectly seared. It's delicious. I'm going to get this sandwich into some foil and cut it, get my fries ready, get my drink ready. I'm actually going to make a sugar-free half and half to go with my fries and my cheesesteak. But look at this. Yum. Make my beverage real quick. All this is I'm making my homemade sugar-free half and half. The Crystal Light Lemon Tea packets. That's all it is. So I put that in there with some filtered water, and I've got a little real lemon. Put a generous amount of that in there. And I've also got some nice fresh lemon too, and I think a seed just went in there. It's cool. Put some nice fresh lemon. Taste. Delicious. I usually make a whole pitcher of this, and I've given it to friends. And you know, if you're not used to sugar-free drinks, you might detect a slight aftertaste, but I've given it to friends and they've drank it and they've been like, but it's good. So, and I'm making a mess. Pour that in, and friends, my friends, I believe I'm ready to start getting down with my delicious, homemade, scrumptious, totally yummy homemade cheesesteak sub.